Okay, what I'd like to do is try some stabilization tests. It's the EF24 to 105 f3.5 to 5.6 lens. Has built-in stabilization, and we're going to try and put it on the gimbal and see how it does with the gimbal. And it's the lens I use almost exclusively on the trip up to the Oregon coast this last summer. Had good luck with it. The only disadvantage, it's not super wide and it's a heavy lens. That did give my gimbal some trouble at times when I'd extend it if I didn't have it balanced too good. Because when you extend the lens, really that gimbal becomes unbalanced, and it's just the strength of the motors in the gimbal that keep it under control. But we're going to walk with it and just see how smooth we can get it without any electronic stabilization, and then see what I can do at full tele mode at the 105 with the movie crop mode and enhanced stabilization. See how close we can get it and look at the perspective from walking around something at a more telephoto distance. Because what happens with a gimbal and the wide angle, you're walking around an object, say a flower pot on the road or the sidewalk, and you're starting to come around it, but you're varying the distance all the time since you're really close to the object. And so with this tele lens, you can back off the object and get a parallax effect by less movement, but especially with electronic stabilization on, because it'll try to stabilize and keep in the center of the frame that object. And it does a real good job with slow motion as you come around. But we'll play with that a little bit and we'll see what this lens can do on the gimbal. Okay, here we're just going to walk. We got on a 24mm setting, running f9 with just a polarizer on the front to cut down the light a little bit. No electronic stabilization at all, just the built-in lens optical stabilization. And point it down just a little bit. Traffic's going to pick up here a little bit. It's got enough mass that it helps stabilize this. I can see the camera's bouncing. Well, I don't know if the camera's bouncing, but I can see this. My hand holding the gimbal is going back and forth. But we'll try this. Let's just try a selfie here. I'm gonna, whoops. Okay. This is just a hand holding it out, 24mm setting. See what that looks like. So I can keep my head in the middle or the back part of that. If I go in the front, so it's heavy enough, I'm going to switch hands. It gets a little bit heavy. Oh, it's fall. You can see the leaves coming down off the trees. This is a walnut tree here, picking up bushels of walnuts. I didn't even adjust the polarizer. It's just there to cut down the light somewhat. So I can run f9 instead of f16. Run 125th of a second shutter. Okay, we're at the 70mm setting here. Just holding the gimbal with one hand. Let's just see if I can even walk. Go towards these kitties here. Yeah. Yeah. See if this is even doable. That's just, to me, amazing what this gimbal can do, handhold, but that's not a real good indication while walking. Let me try something, just stand still here. I'm just holding the gimbal with both hands here. We're extended out to 105 millimeter. I'm going to put it in movie crop mode and see if I can hold it. There's movie crop mode. See, it brought it in further. But if I want to, this isn't even an electronic stabilization. Just see what I can do here. See if we get a parallax effect with that windmill. Trying to just walk real slow and keep the windmill kind of in the center there. Then we're going to try it with the enhanced. Not the enhanced, but the actual electronic. There's no electronic right now. Okay, now I have the digital stabilization on. It's not the enhanced, just the digital. And I'm going to see if that can, oops, that didn't work out there. That's just too much. Let's try this going back the other way. The wind quieted down, so my windmill quit turning. Yeah. Let me try the enhanced. This is the worst case scenario here. Okay, this is as close up as I can get with this lens. It's at the 105 millimeter position, movie crop mode, and enhanced electronic stabilization. See if I can walk with it and see if it keeps that windmill. Yeah, I can't do it. But you could move it. Almost don't see it there. Did I go out of focus? If I just move it just a little bit, so you can really get, I'm going really slow now. You can get just a little bit of parallax effect using the enhanced mode to help keep it centered. Remember, this is all handheld at 105 millimeter on the lens. I lost it. .5 millimeter enhanced mode. Now what I'm going to do is move closer and go to a more realistic setting. Okay, here's 105 millimeter, no movie crop. There's just the first setting, electronic stabilization. Okay, now we're at a more realistic 50 millimeter setting, no movie crop, and the first stage of electronic stabilization. We're going to try to walk around this. I'm not even going to look at the screen. I'm just going to keep the lens pointed towards the windmill here. So we're pointing into the sun here. Not sure how that'll be. Traffic is pretty bad right now. That's much more doable. Now here I moved in closer at the 24mm setting. Still have the first stage electronic. Okay, here we're trying in the slow motion mode where I lose audio. This is on the gimbal running at 120 frames per second in full HD mode instead of 4K. And you can see if I go it slows your movements up so much that it takes forever to get around the windmill here. But if you want that effect, it is possible to do it in that mode. This is handheld at 120 frames per second. Now you can see how long it takes to go around that windmill. It gets progressively slower the higher the frame rate because it wants to kick that back down to 30 frames per second in post. This is kicked up to 180 frames per second and it's all handheld like the previous clip was handheld also. So no gimbal involved in this, just handheld. When you kick it up to 180, you're really slowing everything down. So you maybe want to limit this to just a few seconds worth of clip. But it is doable, but you lose your audio. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to do a video here of what I don't see much of on the R8 and what it can do for slow motion, what it does on the gimbal with a lens that's really not recommended for this gimbal. But it is doable. Makes for some interesting comparisons here. I was going to try a handheld vlog here. No electronic stabilization, just the built-in optical. Getting the shade here, it's getting a little sunny. But, okay, the last one I did there was 180 frames per second and I lost my audio. And that's all handheld. The one right before that, 120 frames per second, and that was on the gimbal. So I was trying to do two scenarios here where you can get a smooth slow motion walk around, but you're going to have to give up your audio and drop down to HD quality. But you can see if that's acceptable to you. Here I'm just hand holding it again, far out as I can get my hand. And let's just walk here and see if the vlog is possible using the Flame X5 wireless mic setup, which I really like. It just a little more hassle than my old Sony stereo mic. I just plug in and don't have to worry about battery levels and whether it's on or not. Here we just hit the shade, so it's going to have a different look. But we'll see how bouncy it is. And what I'll do is walk back with no gimbal at the 24mm setting, and in the middle electronic stabilization to see if that's doable. Okay, here. Kitty. I got it locked on the 24mm position. I want to try walking with another focal length here. Tomcat here. I say it's not a bad lens. I can barely see my viewfinder here. It's going back and forth a little bit. Maybe we should try the enhanced. I think I'll stop it and do the enhanced as I walk down the drive. Okay, here's the enhanced. I really think the stabilization in this lens is really pretty decent for an older lens. I probably had it 10 years. I paired it up with my 5D Mark III. Took excellent pictures. Video was terrible. Video was a lot better than the Mark II version, though, I'll say that.